I can see the chat. I don't know if you guys can see me, but I hope you can. Hello friends, can you see me? Well, there we go. You can see me now. Hello. Just now. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I just need some acknowledgement that the quality is okay. Is not too pixelated. Is it okay? G'day Marlene, g'day Suzanne, g'day TM, g'day Catherine. Hey Ruth, nice to see you. Beautiful. Thanks Natasha for the acknowledgement. Hello Stephanie, nice to see you all. Thank you so much for being here. Hello Leslie, and you can hear me okay? Great, beautiful, lovely. So, I want to welcome you all. I want to thank you for being here. It is freezing cold today, but that is no surprise because we are transitioning into winter. And the weather's getting colder, the skies are getting grayer, and the mornings are getting darker. G'day Lorraine. Hello Jan, nice to see you. G'day Lynn. And well, it's great. Hello Tariq, lovely to see you all. And here we are, as promised, outside the Memorial Arch of the Great Ocean Road. In many ways, this is the gateway to the Great Ocean Road, the entry in many ways, even though it isn't quite the entrance, but it is symbolically the beginning of the Great Ocean Road. Yeah, good point Marlene. Well, it's a Melbourne, Australia standard cold, which in Canada would probably be like beach weather. Hello Fatima, nice to see you. I'm a lot better now, yes, dried out. Leslie, for sure, yeah. Hello Pizzazz. Okay, just catching up. G'day Judith, thank you Judith, I appreciate that. So. Yes, please Jan, you and TM can send me as much heat as you possibly can from Florida. That would be much appreciated. So let's begin this tour. For those who are meeting me for the very first time, if you are meeting me for the first time, then thank you for being here. I appreciate your company, I appreciate you showing interest in this part of Australia. My name's Alex, and we are approximately an hour and 37 minutes from Melbourne. That's okay. So it's only going to be 25 minutes. This is going to be not too long, not too short. 25 minutes, 30 minutes. It's going to be nice. So, Alex can have it. Thanks, TM. I'll take it. Gladly, I'll take the heat. So, welcome. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you can subscribe. You can click the subscribe button. It should be on your screen somewhere, or you can just head to my channel and subscribe, just so you don't miss out, because we've got some upcoming stuff that is going to be great. I just announced today in one of my stories, I'm doing an incredible challenge. I'll be meditating for 8 hours straight, so that should be interesting. And the traffic there's a lot of traffic. And look just behind me, look at this house over there. Imagine having a house right there. It's just, what an experience. So we're going to switch the camera from my face to the beautiful views, and I'll explain the itinerary as we go along. And check this out. Look at this beautiful view. And this is the Great Ocean Road, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Slowly pan it a little bit to the left. Reflecting. And the ocean is to our left, so if I was to turn left, we would see the ocean. And over there we have the Great Ocean Road Memorial Arch, which is one of the most famous parts of the Great Ocean Road. Now, to give you a little bit of history, the Great Ocean Road, well, they began surveying it in 1918, but construction began in 1919. And the idea was actually conceived in the late 1870s. You know, when you wanted to travel from Geelong or from Melbourne to another town like Lorne or Apollo Bay or any of the towns further along the Great Ocean Road, rain, bushes, puddles, everything, and they would use a horse and carriage, so it was very hard to get from one town to another. So it made sense for them on an economical level, that they'd want an easy way to get from one end to another. And the idea was floating around in the 1870s onwards. And then in 1911 they started planning it. But then then obviously World War I happened, and that delayed things a lot because our focus was lying elsewhere. And then in 1918 they revived the idea of building the Great Ocean Road, and they decided to employ veterans of World War I who had just returned from their service, and in many ways and in many cases they just felt like they really didn't feel at place. They felt a little bit, they were unemployed, they didn't have much to do, and it gave them this renewed sense of purpose. Were employed to work on the Great Ocean Road, and it became an incredible project. Not only was it to go through bush, and it was an extremely value, but on a sentimental pay their respects for the incredible sacrifices that were made in World War I by our going in and out. I'm sorry guys, I don't know why it's buffering. It could be the signal. Oh yeah. Okay. I'll keep going, and I just hope that it gets better, okay? Here's a sign. Here's a sign that says Great Ocean Road. And as I was saying, the Great Ocean Road started as a project to create work for World War I, returning veterans. Now, the idea, the father of this project was a man by the name of Howard Hitchcock, and he was not only the mayor of Geelong, but he was also an entrepreneur, and he was a businessman. And he decided he raised money for it. So he raised approximately £81,000 to make that happen. He put in 3,000 of his own pounds into the Great Ocean Road. I'll just show you exactly. It extends from Torquay all the way like this, all the way to Warrnambool, which is a beautiful little town. Now Howard Hitchcock invested that money, and it is interesting because this archway now symbolizes the beginning of the Great Ocean Road, even though it isn't really where the Great Ocean Road begins. So the Great Ocean Road begins 20 minutes before. So if you were to drive for 20 minutes down that direction, you would actually start the Great Ocean Road. But this archway was built in the late 1920s. So by then the Great Ocean Road was almost finished. It took them 13 years to construct the Great Ocean Road in between 1919 until 1932. But in the late 1920s, they first built this, and it didn't look like this when they first built it. It was just full of bricks. And what this originally was a lot narrower, so it was like half this size. It was like this narrow. And what it was initially, it was a tollway. It was the beginning of a tollway. So as they were finalizing Great Ocean Road, Howard Hitchcock and a lot of the people who invested in the Great Ocean Road charged a toll because they wanted to pay it off. And then they came to the conclusion that, Howard decided that once they pay off the expenses that it cost them to build the Great Ocean Road, he will then hand it to the council, to the government. So this was originally a gate for the tollway. So they would charge a toll for people who wanted to drive down the Great Ocean Road from one to another. And it was about per car, it cost about 3 shillings just to get through. To give you an idea, the average person made 8 shillings a day. So it was almost like a third of their daily income. So it was a very expensive. So if you make $200 a day, that's the equivalent to a $75 tollway or something like that. So $70 tollway. So it was relatively expensive. Let's have a look at these over here. And remember, the diggers, this is a beautiful, very famous sculpture over here, made from bronze, of these two diggers who are working to, and we'll get back to the arch in a second, but I just love this. Two World War I veterans working together, helping each other out, and they use nothing but, they just basically use nothing but a shovel and a pick and a carriage. It's incredible. I'm just going to circle this sculpture. Well, if you could afford a car, then you could afford the toll. Yeah, I guess that's a good point, Lorraine. But it's still a very, it is a significant sum to pay if you're wanting to get all done by hand. And they use TNT as explode. So how it originally was, there were cliffs, huge cliffs, and they had to obviously chip away so they can create the road. So they would have one digger attached to a harness, chipping away, while the other one would hold the harness and ensure that he was safe. Sometimes they would use explosives to get there, but in most cases, in most cases they did it by hand. And I like this. This is something a lot of people don't notice. This is their jacket that signifies the sacrifices. Super cool. Now, the memorial arch was actually subject to some controversy along the way. So when they first built the memorial arch, again, it was a one-way road. So they had to designate certain times for certain directions. So in between a certain slot of hours, cars could only go in that direction, and in other hours, cars could only go in that direction. So it slowed, the traffic was a lot slower because, again, the archway was very, very narrow at the time. I can see your delayed comments. It's a beautiful sculpture for sure. A lot of people didn't like it. Now, in 1936, they stopped charging a toll, right? So the council took over, the government took over the Great Ocean Road, and they just didn't charge tolls anymore. And we'll have a look at those plaques over there in the bottom left, and we'll have a read of what they say. So the government stopped charging tolls, and then they thought, let's just expand the archway and make this a two-way road so that people don't... when was this road paved? So this road was constructed, surveying began in 1918, the construction began in 1919, and they finished constructing it in 1932. The tolls concluded in 1936, so by 1936 they didn't have tolls anymore. And so, yeah. And then they demolished the memorial arch. So when they decided they do not want to have tolls here anymore, they demolished it. They were like, we don't need this anymore. So they demolished it, right? But then in 1939, they decided to create an archway, just something to welcome people to Great Ocean Road. And it stood there until 1970. Right? Now, the council and the Country Road Board, they wanted to demolish it because, again, they wanted to expand it further. But the people didn't want to, but they did it anyway. They didn't want to. So what happened was, eventually, a truck broke it. A truck just drove into it and broke the arch. And they had to reconstruct it again. So then they rebuilt it, they renovated it. In 1972, they built the third arch. And unfortunately, in 1983, the arch was burnt. They had bushfires, and it was reduced to ashes by 1983, which is very sad. And then they found a sign lying around. They created a fourth arch which the fourth arch was actually destroyed by a storm. So there was a storm in around this area, and it was destroyed again. They found a sign, they constructed it again. So by the 90s, it was already destroyed 4 or 5 times. And since the 90s, this arch has been there the whole time. Let's have a quick little look and see what else is over here. Let's read those plaques. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. Erected in 1939 of now Major W.T. That is, he was one of the fathers of the Great Ocean Road. He was one of the people who engineered. He was the main engineer of the Great Ocean Road. So yeah, he was held in very high regard. There are actually many roads along this way, and there are a few places that have been named after him. So yeah, and he was also the chairman Country Roads Board. So yeah, and then here it says Great Ocean Road Trust, founded 1917. This road was built to commemorate the services of those who served in the Great War of 1914 to 1918. Let's see the other ones down here. The first arch near this site was built by the Great Ocean Road Trust in 1939. The 2 plaques says, a ceremony to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the opening of the Ash Wednesday, 16th of February 1983. Let's do a little 360, show you around. And then after this tour, I'm going to be heading to Apollo Bay, and I'm going to be showing you one of the nicest lookouts you can find. One of the best things about traveling along the Great Ocean Road is that along the way, as you're driving along, the Great Ocean Road itself is very long. It's the longest, now more than just a road. It's considered it's a war memorial actually. So it's considered the world's longest war memorial. I have to go, but thank you for your tour. That's fine, too easy, Cobra. Well, thanks for stopping by, I appreciate it. It's considered the world's longest war memorial. It's 243 kilometers long. And as I said, one of the things I love about the Great Ocean Road is as you're driving along, you can stop at certain lookouts and just enjoy the beauty, and it's a great excuse to stop. I'm talking there are dozens of lookouts along the way, so you can stop, you can enjoy. I'm going to take you to one of the lookouts. Some lookouts show you the forests, other lookouts show you towns or the ocean or even limestone structures, but I'm going to be taking you to a very beautiful lookout called Mariner's Lookout, and we'll check it out and we'll just enjoy the view, which is, ultimately that's what we do. We want to appreciate and enjoy the epicness of the Great Ocean Road. Let's check this out. I'm going to read this out to you before we end, so you can see the Great Ocean Road Memorial Arch. So this is, again, more information about the Memorial Arch. I'll read this, and then I want to maybe we can walk down to this direction. I'll show you the ocean. I'll show you because the Southern Ocean is down there. And I want to show you the waves. The waves today are just so robust and mighty. So that'll be something to enjoy. But let's just read this first before we move on. This arch commemorates the building of the Great Ocean Road as a memorial to Victorians who served in the First World War, 1914 to 1918. It is the 3rd arch on the site. The original was erected in 1939 and replaced in 1973 when the road was widened. And in 1983, the fires destroyed the 2nd arch. Okay, I'll answer your question in 2 seconds, Sue. It's a great question. So let's have a look. In and look at these pictures. So over here, these were the camps in which the veterans stayed in while they were working on the roads, while they were constructing the roads. And here they are with their picks and shovels, going hard at it. Very, very little technology. I understand, Leslie, 100% understand. In 1917, the Great Ocean Road Trust, a citizen initiative, was established to build the road and to provide employment for returned servicemen. From 1919, work proceeded in stages according to the availability of men and money. A total of 3,000 ex-servicemen worked with pick and shovel, and using the stone and natural materials of the area. They stayed in well-organized camps, as you can see up there, complete with vegetable plots, cooks, and pianos. Here at Eastern View, travelers paid a toll to use the Great Ocean Road, as I was saying to you before, and then until the government took over the road in 1936 and decided to not implement the toll anymore. How many veterans were involved in building this road? 3,000, Suzanne. 3,000 veterans were involved. It's quite incredible. The Great Ocean Road fulfilled a dream to link up the seaside settlements, open up the coast for development, and provide the motoring public with one of the most beautiful ocean drives in the world. Today, the Great Ocean Road stretches from Torquay to Nelson. It combines wonderful landscapes and seascapes with the bush of national parks and conservation reserves. Each year, 1.2 million vehicles pass under the archway, and millions of visitors enjoy vistas and activities along the Great Ocean Road. That's quite beautiful, isn't it? Now let's check out the great mighty Southern Ocean. I'll remind you, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, because there's a lot more coming up. And I just love this plaque as well. Before we, this is a beautiful plaque. We've got a serviceman, a soldier, and there's more history. Basically what I was just saying before, just in different words. But that's just a beautiful. And I might even, and in fact, if you were to drive 15 minutes from here in a little town called Lorne, which is just around the corner from here, you would find a museum, a memorial center to commemorate those who constructed the Great Ocean Road, which is pretty awesome. Oh, sorry, Sue asked me a question as well. So Sue asked me about the houses. I don't know any of the people who live in these houses, Sue, but I gotta say that these houses are not cheap, very expensive, and they're quite beautiful. I mean, this is prime real estate. You can't get a house here anymore, so just absolutely gorgeous. Imagine waking up to the ocean and to a bunch of tourists taking photos near the Memorial Arch. Let's check out the ocean very quickly. Let's check out the waves and everything. While we're here, we may as well just enjoy a beach view. And I've got to say, this morning's sunrise, as I was driving, the sun was rising, was stunning. Absolutely, I did not expect it, but yeah, we had a great sunrise. Check this out. Wow. I agree, Leslie. It's nice to have so much info. It's beautiful. Prime view for sure, Carla. Absolutely. I'm going to do a look at how beautiful is this shot with the sun over there. And now I'm going to pan it to the right slowly. Oh, there's nothing beats the sound of the ocean, Suzanne. I could not agree more. And let's pan it slowly. Just enjoy this. Shadow has to grow in it a little bit. Go away, Alex. Hello. Check out these beautiful views. Absolutely stunning. You know who I'm most envious of? The people who live in these houses over there. That is quite the view. Absolutely stunning. Check out this beautiful house over there. I wish I could zoom in. Can't do that. Gorgeous waves. We've got 4 more minutes to go before we end this tour, but if you have any questions, you can ask me anything. I would love to answer your questions. Let's just pan a little bit to the left. Do a 360. Oh, I agree, pizzazz. I agree. Oh, Michelle. It's as fine as it looks. Not touristy, no. This is a very touristy spot, Leslie. Very. Yeah, so people do surf here, Suzanne. Check out those waves. It's almost dangerous to surf here if you're not experienced. Oops. So if you don't have the experience to back it up, this is for those who like the sand. Mission Road is home. We're actually not far from the beach, which is considered one of the most beautiful surf coasts in the entire world. And Bells Beach is where they hold the World Surfing Championships. So, but not developed. Well, let's see, not touristy there, but not developed. Oh, well, I mean, it depends on how you, that's relative, isn't it, Leslie? Let's check out those waves, stunning. So if you were to go and surf, there are you can go to Lorne, which is the town that is a little bit further down there. There's a town called Lorne, and Lorne is a lot safer if you're a beginner and you want to surf. This beach is a little more dangerous for beginners. So, but you will see a lot of surfers here on good days. Check out those waves; they're just quite incredible, aren't they? Yes, Leslie, the water is freezing here. Absolutely freezing. The Southern Ocean is known for its extremely cold temperatures, and because the waters are coming from Antarctica, so we're talking freezing cold. Let's head back to the arch as we conclude this. How high are the waves approx? It's a good question, Suzanne. I reckon, based on what I'm seeing now, let's see, about a meter. Yeah, you can't see it. Tops about a meter. But they have been known, for being a lot higher. Today is not considered a big day. Nothing like the waves in Portugal, which is where Fatima is from. Portugal has some of the largest waves in the world. Let's head up here, back. Reminds me of home. Yes, absolutely, TM. Let's just walk a little bit up here as we conclude this segment. If you have any questions, you can ask me now. Any questions relating to the Memorial Arch? Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something new a little bit. A lot of people don't know what I just told you. This is gourmet information that a lot of 95% of Melburnians and Australians don't know what I just taught you. So it's just a nice, interesting thing to learn about. So yeah, okay. Well, if you don't have any questions, let me switch the camera, flip the camera back to me. Absolutely, Suzanne. It's stunning. I can't believe I haven't taken you here before. There's a beautiful tree behind the arch. Yes, a coastal pine tree down there. Michelle, let's have a look. Coastal pine trees. Beautiful, aren't they? A lot of those native to Australia. You're welcome, Ruth. Absolutely. Loved it. TM says, learned so much to local people. Yes, absolutely, TM. It's fun. It's fascinating, and it's just nice to learn these things. So you're welcome, Lynn. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for being here, for attending this with me. I appreciate you guys. They look very old. Yes, they probably are very old. I don't think they'd be like, what, 80 to 100 years old? I mean, that is old. Not for tree years, but for us, it's pretty old. Okay, so thank you guys. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Stephanie. You're welcome, Fatima. You're welcome, Suzanne. Thank you guys. Since you don't have any questions, we'll end it. If you're not subscribed, just don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Oh, great question, Suzanne. So Suzanne's asking, did any veterans die? Yes, Suzanne. Quite a few veterans actually died. To be honest, I forgot the specific number, but it was definitely over a dozen veterans died during the construction of the Great Ocean Road. So they did sacrifice their lives. It was very sad. But yeah, it is what it is. This incredible road is just an incredible memory that they have placed for those who have sacrificed their lives. So thanks, guys. Great to see you too, Tina. Thank you. You're welcome, Lynn. And I'll see you guys hopefully at Mariner's Lookout. If I don't see you, then I'll create a little story about Mariner's Lookout. I'm also creating a video. I'm going to create a video for YouTube about Great Ocean Road. So if you're subscribed to my channel, click on the bell notifications so you'll get notified for when the video comes out. It'll be entertaining. I can assure you that. So guys, see you shortly. See you guys. See you TM. See all of you. I'll chat to you soon. See you later, alligator. Take care and